Hello there, this is World News Program coming to you live from Algiers with the latest from around the globe. Coming up right now, the headlines. Zionist occupation massacres in Gaza leave at least 60 martyrs since dawn, including a journalist in central Gaza in the ongoing genocide against Palestinians. Algeria and Finland discuss ways to strengthen political dialogue and deepen economic partnership. Minister Attaf and his Finnish counterpart stressed the need for institutional mechanisms to develop bilateral cooperation and jointly praised the encouraging outcomes of industrial investment projects. In Sudan, dozens killed and injured in shelling on Al-Fasher. Rapid support forces commit a new massacre in Kordofan, leaving no fewer than 74 dead. Hello again and welcome to your nightly news. First, 3 Palestinians, including a journalist, were martyred on Wednesday evening in an airstrike by the Zionist occupation forces in central Gaza. According to the Palestinian news agency, journalist Saeed Abu Hassanin was martyred along with his wife and daughter in an Israeli airstrike in the city of Deir al-Balah in the central Gaza Strip. And 61 Palestinians were martyred and others injured in intense Zionist airstrikes on the Gaza Strip since early Thursday morning. According to medical sources on Thursday, 61 Palestinians or people were confirmed killed as an initial toll, including women and children from the same families. The airstrikes targeted densely populated areas in several cities across the Strip. And hundreds of pro-Palestinian American demonstrators gathered at Yale University to protest the visit of the so-called far-right Minister of National Security, Itamar Ben-Gvir. According to media outlets, hundreds of students at the university in Connecticut set up tents in solidarity with Gaza and in protest of an upcoming lecture near the university campus by the extremist Zionist figure Itamar Ben-Gvir. Still in the Middle East, American warplanes launched a series of airstrikes on various areas in Yemen early Thursday morning. According to the Yemeni news agency, 3 U.S. airstrikes targeted Jabal Nuqm east of the capital Sana'a, while another strike in the Jiraf al-Sharqi neighborhood in the Thawra district. 3 more strikes targeted the north of Saada province, and these strikes follow a series of air raids that hit several areas of Yemen on Wednesday evening. Zionist occupation forces carried out extensive bulldozing operations in towns and villages in southern Lebanon. According to Lebanese media sources, on Thursday, the Zionist forces conducted bulldozing activities in Jabal al-Hamara and on the outskirts of the Adaysa in the Marja'ayun district in the south of the country. The same sources reported that hostile reconnaissance aircraft have been flying intensively over Lebanon's western sector since early morning hours. And in other news, as part of his official visit to Finland, Algerian Minister of Foreign Affairs and National Community Abroad, Ahmed Attaf, held one-on-one talks this morning in Helsinki with Finnish Foreign Minister Elina Valtonen, followed by an expanded working session with both delegations. According to a statement from the Algerian Foreign Ministry, the talks were an opportunity to review the friendly and cooperative ties between Algeria and Finland and explore ways to further strengthen them. Discussions highlighted the robust political dialogue and the success of joint investment projects led by economic stakeholders from the 2 countries. And the 2 sides stressed the importance of establishing institutional mechanisms to enhance bilateral cooperation expand the legal framework governing their relationship, and boost business exchanges between Algerian and Finnish enterprises. Minister Attaf and his Finnish counterpart also discussed current regional and international developments, particularly in the Middle East, the Sahel region, in addition to the Russia-Ukraine war. The Algerian Foreign Ministry statement added that both ministers stressed the importance of continuing efforts to promote the values of peace, justice, and freedom, and to uphold the principles of international law and the purposes of the United Nations Charter. And on Thursday in Helsinki, Minister Attaf also held talks with Finnish Minister for Foreign Trade and Development, Viltavio. According to the Algerian Foreign Ministry, the meeting provided an opportunity to comprehensively assess the various areas of ongoing economic cooperation between the two countries. A particular emphasis was placed on the encouraging results of joint investment projects in the industrial sector characterized by technology sharing and increased integration rates. The ministers also explored prospects for boosting trade exchanges and strengthening investment partnerships in line with the complementary economic potentials of the two countries. And during a working and inspection visit to the province of Bechar in southwestern Algeria, the President Abdelmajid Tebboune inaugurated and brought into operation a 100-kilometer section of Bechar-Abadla railway line. The project is considered a strategic step that strengthens national connectivity and infrastructure, opening promising prospects for the country's southwest. It also brings the railway network closer to the giant Garaj-Bilet iron ore mine to support its exploration or exploitation and marketing both domestically and internationally. And after inaugurating the Bechar-Abadla railway section, President Tebboune stated that the project represents a dream coming true and that its completion will enable Algerians to carry out similar projects in the future with their own hands. He also noted ongoing efforts to manufacture locomotives locally, which will allow Algeria to join the ranks of emerging nations.
هو حلم بدأ يتحقق ولا واحد كان يظن أن يوم من الأيام يكون فيه قطار في العبادلة ومحطة قطار في العبادلة ولا حماقير ولا في إن شاء الله بالتوفيق وإن شاء الله من خلال هذا المشروع نكون ربحت أداة اللي تسمح لنا باش المشاريع هذه نقوم بها مستقبلا بنفسنا مساعدة الدول الصديقة معليش ولكن تكون عندنا طاقات ذاتية لإنجاز مثل هذه المشاريع تاع السكة الحديدية 1000 كيلومتر فما فوق. الحمد لله اليوم راني نشوف ما يخص السكة الحديدية فيه كذلك محاولة تصنيع القاطرات محاولة تصنيع لي فاغون دو مينري في عنابة وفي غيرها. هذه خطوات اللي تخلي الجزائر إن شاء الله نشتغلوا من أجل إدخال الجزائر وإدماج الجزائر في عالم دول ناشئة إن شاء الله.
President Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune confirmed the continued commitment to completing the railway network extension to Adrar and Borj Beji Makhtar and from Al-Mni'a to Tamrast in the southeast. He added that through these developments, the current generation will have fulfilled its duty to the nation, paving the way for future generations to carry on the legacy of their forefathers.
الشيء اللي كان حلم صبح حقيقة وإن شاء الله نزيدوا نواصلوا في هذا المنوال حتى نوصل نتمنى متفقين منا من العبادلة نزيد نكمل حتى الأضرار ومن أضرار إن شاء الله الباجي مختار ومن الجانب الشرقي حتى طمراست من المنيعة حتى طمراست وبالتالي الجيل تاعنا يكون أدى ما عليه بالنسبة لجيل الثورة هو حرر البلاد وإحنا نزيد نبنيها واللي يجوا من بعدنا يزيدوا يكملوا إن شاء الله. شكرا للجميع ومبروك على الجزائر ومبروك على المنطقة.
President Tebboune also inaugurated the Qatrani 2 water pumping station and a wastewater treatment plant in Bechar. He received briefings on both projects, and the wastewater treatment facility is one of the largest in the region, covering 14 hectares and treating 55,000 cubic meters per day with a modern triple treatment system that meets international standards. The Qatrani 2 pumping station is among the major initiatives under President Tebboune's program to enhance water security in the province. The groundwater transfer project from the Qatrani aquifer supplies potable water to the cities of Bechar, Abadla, and Laqnaat. President Tebboune also laid the foundation stone for a major iron and steel production complex in the Toumiyet area of Bechar as part of the development strategy for the Garaj Bilet iron mine. And during his visit, President Tebboune launched the construction of a sports complex, the first of its kind in southern Algeria. The Bechar Sports Complex follows a series of major facilities established in Oran, Tizi Ouzou, and Algiers. It will include a 25,000-seat stadium, a covered semi-Olympic swimming pool, and a track for athletes.
بالنسبة للملعب هذا أنا التزمت، واليوم يعني فريق متاع بشار شباب الثورة يعني راه من الفرق المهمة على مستوى الوطن، كذلك يستاهلوا مرفق مثل هذا. هي ولاية كانت ناقصة كثير مرافق، ولكن اليوم وصلت للمستوى الوطني، وإن شاء الله نزيدوا نواصلوا حتى تبقى ما بين الولايات الأوائل.
President Mr. Abdelmajid Tebboune received a warm and enthusiastic welcome on Thursday from the citizens, residents, and local dignitaries of Bechar. Local people created spontaneous and heartfelt scenes that reflected their unity with the president and their support for building a strong and victorious state. President Tebboune greeted the crowds, affirming that the South is not only Algeria's geographical depth, but also its beating heart.
نيابة عن السادة الأئمة ومشايخ الزوايا وأعيان المدينة وعن أخوي نتشرف هذا مفتاح المدينة إليك. خذوها بسلامنا منك، خذوها بسلامنا.
During his working visit to Bechar, President Tebboune met with representatives of civil society, listened to their input and concerns, and discussed local development. The representative stated that the president's visit was a sign of hope, marking a new beginning for the entire region. President Tebboune arrived in the province of Bechar on Thursday for a working and inspection visit. He was accompanied by the Chief of Staff of the Army, General Saïd Shingriha, and was welcomed by local civilian and military authorities. Algeria and Slovenia have signed a memorandum of understanding in the field of higher education and science, aiming to establish a partnership between Algerian and Slovenian universities focused on scientific research and enhancing cooperation between the two countries. During the signing of the memorandum with Slovenian Minister of Higher Education, Science and Innovation, Igor Papic, Secretary General of Algeria's Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research, Professor Abd al-Hakim, stated that the agreement will include cooperation in fields such as technology, space, sciences, environment, health, arts, music, and development. For his part, Slovenian minister affirmed that the agreement will allow for long-term cooperation in student and scientific research mobility.
Upon the arrival of the Algerian minister, a fruitful meeting was held with the Minister of Higher Education, Mr. Kamal Badari. Several focused discussions took place in the field of higher education and scientific research. Today, we are set to sign an agreement covering various fields, particularly in the arts and music, science and technology, and all areas related to the intersection of arts and technology.
I had the privilege to have the meeting yesterday with your minister. We had, as it was mentioned by the Secretary General, we had very fruitful, successful meeting. We opened some fields where we can work closer. And of course, first starting point is the signing of this memorandum between Algeria and Slovenia for higher education and science.
And the chairman of China's Chery holding group, Yin Tongyu, confirmed the company's full readiness to launch its car manufacturing project in Algeria, pending the completion of regulatory procedures. Speaking at the Auto Shanghai exhibition, he said production lines are ready for shipment, affirming Chery's commitment to supporting Algeria's local manufacturing drive.
The government is not willing to allow us into the left market. Okay, we're willing to be citizen of any country. We try to be globalizer company. We try to be globalizer citizen. We try to find the good Chinese solution. Okay, we try to invest outside to get the more job, to be join the local economy development. We want to contribute more for some target market. We already have some agreement with the local partner. We try to use or rebuilding the plant in the Algeria. Algeria is a very good country and very friendly of China. We went into to help the local company to increase in the industrializer of the country. We want to hire more local people. We want to introduce some local Chinese supply to invest over there. Then we can be more localization, local manufacturing.
And for her part, Lilian Xiong, Executive Vice President of Exide, affirmed the group's intention to establish a factory in Algeria as part of its strategic expansion in the region. She noted that the company will continue strengthening its global presence through innovative design and high manufacturing quality.
So concerning the strategic, any project to expand this brand to Algeria or North African countries?
Yes, sure. We are extending all the markets, trying to do as soon as possible. So this year we will enter. I think we will enter North Europe, and also we will enter the Europe also. So we are trying to speed up, and now you see that we in the R&D process we develop this car oriented to those very developed countries and markets, and to meet those customer needs in those developed countries and very professional customer.
Do you have any plans to open your own factories to exceed in Algeria like Chery did?
I think the Chery Group has the plan. They are planning those things. I think we were planning this in the group level.
In other news, dozens of Sudanese were killed or wounded on Wednesday evening in what has been described as the heaviest artillery shelling carried out by the Rapid Support Forces in several areas of Al-Fashir city in North Darfur state. Local media reported that Al-Fashir had been subjected to heavy artillery shelling for 3 consecutive days by the RSF, marking the most intense attacks in months. The shelling targeted all army-controlled areas, as well as markets, shelters, and the Abu Shouk and Abuja camps. 74 Sudanese civilians were killed and dozens injured in heavy artillery shelling carried out by the Rapid Support Forces on the village of Al-Safa in Kordofan, according to the Sudanese Doctors Network. The same sources reported that the RSF committed a horrific massacre against the residents of Al-Zafa village in Al-Dahya locality, West Kordofan state. The initial death toll includes 74 people, among them 12 children and 9 women, while over 178 others sustained varying degrees of injuries. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said Iran could pursue a peaceful civilian nuclear program by importing enriched materials rather than enriching uranium. Speaking to the Free Press, Rubio urged Tehran to halt all enrichment if it seeks a deal with the Trump administration, warning that insisting on enrichment would make Iran the only non-nuclear weapon state doing so.
We do not want a war. We do not want to see war. This is not a president that campaigned on starting wars. And as he said very clearly, Iran is not going to have a nuclear weapon, and he reserves every right to prevent that from happening, but he would prefer it not happen. He would prefer that there not be need to resort to military force, either by us or anybody else. He would prefer that it be something that we can negotiate. The Iranians have shown a willingness to talk. We're going to talk to them. If there is a chance at peace, we're going to give peace and a peaceful resolution to this challenge, every opportunity to succeed. Our priorities remain the same. If Iran wants a civil nuclear program, they can have one just like many other countries in the world have one, and that is they import enriched material.
So Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said on Wednesday that the country's security forces remain on constant alert to counter any acts of sabotage or assassination aimed at destabilizing national security. According to the Iranian news agency, Araghchi stated that attempts by the Zionist entity and certain groups with vested interests to derail diplomatic efforts through various tactics have become all evident to all. U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to raise the current 25% tariffs imposed on cars imported from Canada into the U.S. Speaking to reporters, Trump said he's seriously considering increasing tariffs on cars manufactured in Canada to curb their influx into the American market. He added that the move aims to protect American manufacturers.
It's costing us $200 billion a year to support Canada. $200 billion. And I say, why are we doing that? You know what? We can make our own cars. We have more energy than they do. We have more energy than anybody in the world. We don't need their lumber, obviously. We have more lumber. We have a lot of lumber. We have a lot of everything that they sell us. But in particular cars, they took a large percentage of the car making, and I want to bring it back to this country. I really don't want cars from Canada. So when I put tariffs on Canada, they're paying 25%, but that could go up.
Ladies and gentlemen, our program has come to an end. Thank you for watching and have a great night.